All right, our meeting is now being recorded, so please keep that in mind as you're interacting with each other during this webinar. Thank you all for coming tonight to Practicing Professionalism. My name is Dr. Melinda Linscott. I'm the team lead in our Learning for Success Center, and tonight's presenter is Assistant Dean of Students, Aaron Page from the School of Nursing. So I will turn it over to him to present on practicing professionalism.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Linscott, and thank you again, everyone, for being here. It's a pleasure to see you all tonight. So yeah, this webinar is on practicing professionalism, and there'll be some interaction required or requested of you, so please feel free to use the chat box as we go through this. There'll be some interaction and some questions and things that we'll have coming up throughout this. So looking forward to a great session. Here's an idea of what we're going to take a look at tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about defining professionalism, identifying some of the basics of professionalism and some professional and some unprofessional behaviors. We're also going to talk on etiquette, which is your etiquette on the internet and some strategies there to be successful. We'll talk also about professionalism in your experience as a Purdue University Global student, and then the importance of maintaining professionalism during times of frustration. All right, so first we're going to look at the definition of professionalism. And this professionalism is defined as the conduct, aims, or qualities that characterize or mark a profession or a professional person. And for the purposes of this webinar tonight, we're going to focus on that word conduct and what is really considered professional conduct and what might be unprofessional conduct, and how do we stay within what's considered professional conduct. All right, so here's the first interactive piece. I just want to ask you all what your thoughts might be on some general, professional behaviors. What kinds of, and you can use the chat box just to share any ideas, what would be things that you would consider just some basic general professional behaviors? I'm going to share one just to get us started, and that's overall just treating managers, colleagues, everyone with respect. Yep, and I see you guys have that too. Using respectful language, politeness, taking the lead in a calm way. Yep, that's a great one. Personal appearance, being on time. Yep. Yeah, those are great. I have a lot of examples here too. Again, you all hit on this first one right away, treating everyone with respect and politeness, overall projecting a positive attitude. I have this one here, which is assuming positive intent. And what I mean with that one is, especially in an online or virtual environment, I feel like it can be really easy to read an email the wrong way or kind of assume someone's intent in their communications with you, or maybe even assume a negative intent in someone's communications with you. But it can be really important in a professional environment to assume that that person trying to work with you does have ultimately a positive intent. They are trying to work with you, they are trying to support you and help you succeed. So that's what I mean there by assuming positive intent. Being polite, showing respect, showing good judgment, being ethical, and dressing appropriately. And so those are some of the examples as well that you all did, including the chat box. Thank you. And for the next category we have is unprofessional conduct. What would be some examples of behaviors or actions that would be just considered unprofessional? And welcome, Kathy. We're glad you're here tonight. So yeah, feel free to use the chat box. What would be some, yep, foul language, yep, being late, yelling, yep, rude off-color remarks, yep, interrupting, but yeah, definitely violence. Yeah, great, yeah, those are all perfect examples. For this, being unresponsive. So this, obviously if you work in an email environment or you've got, people calling you, leaving you voicemails, obviously not getting back to your emails or returning your voicemails wouldn't be considered professional. blaming if something goes wrong versus taking responsibility for the situation. Yeah, Krista, facial reactions, body language, that's also a big one. Brittany displaying negative behavior, those would be examples too. Poor communication, lying and stealing, gossip, sharing maybe personal opinions or not respecting other professional boundaries. This last one I have is not allowing an appropriate amount of time for someone to respond back to you if you do have a question or a concern, particularly if you're using email or voicemail. There usually is a little bit of time that person might need to get back to you. So not allowing that person maybe 1 business day or 2 business days to respond before you send another follow-up, that's one example there of maybe poor communication as well. But Alyssa, I see you having favorites. Yeah, I think those all would be examples of unprofessional conduct. So let's talk also here a little bit about netiquette. So netiquette is etiquette governing your communication on the internet. And obviously at Purdue Global, we're online based. We're communicating over the internet with you all the time. And you may be calling in with your student advisor as well, or our support teams, but we do also have a lot of our communication happen over the internet. So let's talk a little bit about that. So there's 3 types of netiquette. There's personal netiquette, professional netiquette, and social netiquette. Personal might be you're communicating directly with a friend, family member, over maybe using email or text or something like that. Professional netiquette would be you're communicating with a coworker, your manager, your supervisor, some kind of or other maybe professional connection. Again, using email or some other means. And then social might be maybe it's a social media post, maybe it's a update on your Facebook or something on your Instagram story. So there's different types of netiquette to use in those situations. And I'm going to show some examples here, and I just want to see your thoughts in the chat box of which type of netiquette this example might fall under. So let's look at LOL. What type of netiquette is that? Is that personal, professional, or social? And maybe it's more than one. Personal, yep. Yeah, personal or social, yep. Yeah, definitely, it's definitely personal or social. LOL, we wouldn't really see too much in professional communications. Probably for this one as well. OMG, how about that one? Yep, personal, social, yep. Yeah, great, okay. This one, Mr. Jones. Under personal, professional, yep, definitely professional, yep. Yeah, definitely more formal, more appropriate for a professional communication. Okay, and this last one, we have an emoji. Can also be personal, yes, at least it could be. How about emojis? Social, personal, social. Social, personal, yep. Yeah, I would say this one definitely is social, personal, but Sina, I like your point. You say occasionally professional. I do think it's okay in some professional situations. Let's say if it's a colleague you know very well, and you're communicating just maybe with that particular colleague, not with a large group of people. And I feel like I wouldn't really recommend any other emojis aside from a smiley face, because there's definitely some others out there that wouldn't be professional, but a smiley face is probably okay for some situations in a professional setting. But yes, definitely leads to social, personal as well. All right, great. Okay, some other netiquette rules. Whenever you're communicating over the internet, please avoid all caps. It really does read to the reader like it's shouting. And it's really unpleasant to read kind of a message like that. Elisa, yes, I believe this recording will be available after, but Dr. Linscott may know more about that. Yep, okay, perfect. Some other netiquette rules, try to avoid sarcasm in any internet communication. It's really difficult to pick up the tone of sarcasm in an email communication or in any kind of internet communication in a professional setting, and it really doesn't. It really just doesn't come across. It's really not going to help get your point across. Any kind of professional email should always be very straightforward and really to the point. So sarcasm really shouldn't be part of that. Certainly any personal insults or engaging in any arguments, it wouldn't really be appropriate for netiquette. And remember that once you hit send, you can't take it back. So once you put something out there, email, Facebook post, whatever it is, once you hit send on that, it's not yours anymore. It's just out there in the world, and you can't take it back. And people can forward it, screenshot it, do whatever with it, because it's now there, and it's on the internet. Okay, so I want to also take a second here to look at some examples of email communications. So especially when there's a problem and when there might be some frustration as well with that problem. So let's say, for example, you're not sure, you're in your course, but you're not sure when your discussion post might be due. And so you've decided you're going to email your professor about that. So let's look at one way that email could have been sent. So this is one example of how you could email about this. So just take a second, take a look at this, and when you're ready, let me know your thoughts about this in the chat box. What's not quite right about this particular way this email's written? That's demanding, yep, no subject, too demanding, disrespectful, yep, don't use LOL, yep. It's sarcastic, yep, yeah, absolutely, yeah, it's just generally unprofessional, Kathy, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Melinda, that's a great point too. What's the actual question? Exactly, it doesn't specify what she's asking. Yeah, all of that is correct. There's no subject line. It starts very demanding. It doesn't really say what the question is. We've got an LOL in there. Why is this so hard? Doesn't really get at the question. You can kind of sense there's some frustration in this, but it's not really expressed in a good way. Yeah, so let's look at how this is how it could be. Sounds more like a rant than a professional email. Yep, I agree. So this is how it could also be sent. Take a look at that and let me know what you do. If you like this one better, what do you see in this one that works better? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more polite. There's a subject, there's a greeting, explains what's being struggled with, more appropriate and specific. Yeah, more clear. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great. Yes, it's addressing the person. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a more formal way to address the person. Yeah, great. Yeah, this one, we're using the subject line here, and of course the subject line is a great way to just tune someone in to what your question or topic of your email is before they even open it. So a good subject line really lets people know exactly what's going to be in your email before they even have a chance to read it. It's addressed appropriately, hello, professor. And then it does more clearly state the question, could you help me? I'm not sure when my post is due. So it's very clear what the issue is here. Now in this one, it is expressing some frustration too, which, it's just saying I felt frustrated that I didn't see this. And I think that's okay. And then it also does close with thanks for helping me with this, which I think is important too. And then it is signed as well. So yeah, all right, thank you all. Yeah, those are great insights on that. Okay, so speaking of frustration in professional settings, it's normal and natural to feel frustrated at times. And But if you are finding that you're feeling frustrated, that's when it's even more important to remember to hang on to your professional skills, because frustration can sometimes cause us to act in unprofessional ways. And then that only goes on to make whatever situation it is even worse. So it's, again, it's important in those situations when you're feeling frustrated to make sure you engage and stay professional. So this slide, we're going to talk just a little bit about some strategies that you could use to stay professional during times of frustration. But before I share what I have, I want to ask you all again, what are some thoughts that you might have on just things you could do if you're feeling frustrated to make sure that you maintain your professionalism? Yep, walk away, take a break, take a deep breath. Yeah, absolutely, take a break. Empathize, yeah, Rhonda, that's great. Walk away, take a moment. Yeah, all great responses, everyone, thank you. Yeah, ask someone else for an unbiased opinion. Yeah, those are, ask a trusted mentor. Yeah, those are great answers. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's really what I have here is take a step back, take a pause before you take any action if you're feeling frustrated. One thing I do sometimes as well is I think about writing everything I would want to say, but I don't send it. I write it down somewhere to get it out of my system, but then make sure I don't send that, but then come back to it later. I think even going even more basic, just acknowledging and accepting that you are feeling frustrated is a good way to start. Making sure you're aware of that in yourself, and then take that frustration, but then think of ways that you could find other solutions. So also guilty. Yeah, well, Rhonda, I'm glad you use that strategy too. Yeah, I just find that really helpful, and then you're able to just get that out of your system and then move on. So good. All right, well, thanks everyone. Well, and of course, choose your words carefully. One more there on the bottom. So we do have another resource on our Purdue Global blog that I did want to share with you all, and it is writing good emails despite anger or frustration. Think before you send. You can see the link to it there, and it's a great blog post that goes into a little more detail of some different strategies you can use, particularly if you're communicating over email, to make sure that you're staying professional even in situations when you're frustrated. Okay, so finally for tonight, I do want to put this all back in context of your student experience at Purdue Global. So we, at Purdue University Global, we do have a code of student conduct, and students' failure to conduct themselves professionally is considered a conduct violation. So that means then that really everything we've been talking about up to this point is expectations we would have of professional conduct at Purdue University Global, and it is part of the code of student conduct. So we would look for always professional and respectful interactions with students, professors, staff members. Many of our programs require clinicals or externships, so of course we would be expecting professional interactions as well in all of those settings, or really at anything that you're doing as a Purdue University Global student. We would have that expectation of professionalism in all of that, in all of your actions. Okay, so before we open it up for questions, I want to share one more resource with you all, not totally related to professionalism, but I just like to make sure everyone's aware of this. This is our student assistance program, and you can find this information on your Purdue Global campus portal if you navigate to Community Center. The Student Assistance Program, it is a confidential third-party support and counseling service that can assist you with some areas like anxiety, debt management, grief and loss, healthy work-life balance, managing stress, and other things along those lines. You can see there's a number here where you can get to this, as well as a link on the website. Again, it's complimentary to you as a Purdue Global student, and it's something that's also available 24/7. So if you feel like that might be helpful for you, that's just another way we can provide you with some additional support outside of the classroom. Okay, so with that said, um, we just want to take a moment here and open it up to any questions that you all might have regarding this webinar or professionalism in general. And feel free to use the chat box, or if you want to take yourselves off mute for this part as well, you're welcome to. Brittany, yes, the student assistance program is a really awesome service with those particular benefits as well. Okay, well, I'm not hearing any questions, so thank you all so much. There is a little bit more that Dr. Linscott is going to cover, so I will turn it over to Dr. Linscott. And so, Melinda, let me know when you want me to advance the slides as well.
Okay, will do. So yes, any other questions that you run into, say, after this webinar, you want to know where to find the Academic Success Center and where to find the Learning for Success Center, I want to be sure to show that to you. So I also have a takeaway here at the end. So all those links you saw throughout the webinar will be available on the takeaway after. So first off, from your Purdue campus landing page, you can always find the Academic Success Center under My Studies. Next, you can also always find the Academic Success Center in Brightspace in any of your classes will be listed right underneath the Help menu. You can just scroll down and find the Academic Success Center there. Once you come into the Academic Success Center, you'll find a couple different boxes here you can click on. If you want to get right into our tutoring cafe, you can click on this first bucket. There's a bucket for our webinars. But if you're interested in finding a particular center, like the Learning for Success Center, you can just come over here and click right into the center you're looking for, and that will take you into the center's homepage. From there, if you're looking for any resources, we've got a lot of valuable resources, things on time management, study skills. We've got a time management calculator that students have found really helpful. Just look for this image. This is a tomato. I always call it an apple, and Sina gets after me about that, but students can never find the tomato if I tell them to look for the tomato, so I call it an apple. But just look for that tomato or apple, a big red fruit of some kind. Click on that and it'll open up all kinds of resources. These are available to you guys 24/7, whether the center is open or not. You can always get in and find some of these resources. When the center is open, you can also meet with a tutor one-on-one in Cranium Cafe. The Cranium Cafe is a really fantastic space, I think, to meet with a tutor. It works really similar to Google Meets, where you can both be on camera at the same time, so you can talk directly with the tutor. All the peer tutors in our Learning for Success Center are students just like you. So they've been right where you are, so you can get on there, you can talk to them, they can show you around. If you're looking for something, they can share their screen with you. You could share your screen with them. You can upload a document to look at together, anything like that. And I do have a couple of the peer tutors from the center here tonight. Sina is here and Shannon is here. I think Kathy was here for a minute. I'm not sure she's here anymore. But definitely look out for Sina and Shannon in the Learning for Success Center. If you need some on-demand help, just look for a button that's set with the light to green, and you'll see that knock on door button. Just click the knock on door. A little chat window will pop up so you can tell them maybe what you're looking for help with, and then they can bring you right into a room and get started. So it's a really great resource. And just to go over quickly when that live tutoring is available on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night, it's 6 to 10 p.m. And on Tuesday, we're open for some daytime hours from 12 to 4. So like I said, the resources are available to you guys anytime you need them, but our live tutors are there 4 days a week. So you can drop in, you don't need an appointment. You can just drop in whenever you need us, or make a note on your calendar of when the next time we'll be open is. I also just wanted to pause for a minute to highlight some of our upcoming webinars that we have. Tomorrow night is Discussion Board Secrets. That one will be presented by Sina Tidwell, one of our peer tutors who's here tonight, so that's going to be a really great time. Um, the following week, Tuesday, is Writing with Clarity and Impact. The next right after that, just an hour later, we have a time and stress management webinar. And then the following week on Tuesday, October 26th, we have a webinar on using sources in a college paper, which can be really great if you're getting started with research. So again, I'll have a link in the takeaway for the full webinar calendar, so you can add them to your calendars from there and get them on your schedule. So that is it. Let me make sure I get some links for you guys. Let's see here. So first things first, this is the webinar takeaway. So these will be all the slides that you saw tonight with active links. And then one other link I just wanted to share with you guys here, if I can find it, is we are trying to collect a little bit of information from students about the topics they're most interested in seeing in future webinars, the times that are best for scheduling webinars, and that kind of thing. So I've included a link for our exit survey in there. It should just take a couple minutes. I appreciate you taking the time to do it. Most importantly, I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules tonight to attend our webinar. I hope this was valuable for you, and you will be able to find a recording of this on the webinar calendar. It usually takes, I think, about a week or so to get put up there, so it might take a little bit, but you'll find it there soon. So that's fine, Kathy. So I just want to turn it over one last time to see if there were any more questions before we sign off for the night. Very good. You're welcome, Rhonda. Thank you all so much. This was fantastic. I'm glad you all could make it and come out. It was nice to see you all here tonight and to think a little bit and brainstorm together about professionalism and how we can bring professionalism to our studies, to Purdue, and also to the workplace and the other things that we're doing outside of class. So thank you all for attending and have a great night.
Thank you all. Have a good night.